Hello and welcome to Rick News. I'm Eddie Pannone.
And I'm Kaylee McCann. Coming up on today's Sportscast, we have a look at some of the things going on around campus and in the community.
That's right, so why don't we start off with the Rhode Island College track team. Recently, our Chris Burton got a chance to catch up with All-American Steve Vasquez about his second-place finish at Nationals and the upcoming spring season.
What was your mindset coming into this year off your second-place finish last year?
Well, my mindset was it's always fairly the same with track, but nonetheless, number one spot. That didn't happen, but it's always going to be my goal every season going into every track.
Now, when you went to Nationals, they said that you tied for first, and by technicality, you got second. Tell us about the rule and why didn't you come out first?
Initially, I didn't know that rule was in effect. I assumed that the person with the least amount of attempts would win, but according to them in the technicalities, that he did win considering his lower attempt to 6'9". He cleared it first on his first attempt, and I cleared it on my second attempt.
How does it feel just knowing that you're one of two All-Americans for Rick this year? Only two people have accomplished that out of all the sports.
Well, it feels good. Although every time I think about it, I always wish for that number one spot, but it's just something I gotta dwell on in order to be better in the future. That's what I'm gonna do.
So, what about outdoor track? Is that starting up now?
Yeah, outdoor track has begun. The weather has not been on my side at all. For like 35, 40 miles per hour wind while I'm high jumping. Wind's never a high jumper's cup of tea.
How do you intend to be in the national running for outdoor track, and how is that different from the indoor track?
Outdoor track's always different from indoor track. Not only personnel-wise, because there's always people who play basketball for the indoor season who's going to come out and do outdoor, and but also the weather is also a difference. Another difference would be the flooring, because usually the flooring is like somewhat of a rubbery substance, and then it's kind of like a tar when you go outdoors. And I like it. Sometimes when you get that vitamin D from the sun, it kind of helps you out. But yeah, that's pretty much all the differences.
Thank you.
No problem.
The men's team making news. Autumn Wazencroft has been carrying the load for the women's team this year. Mike Neal talked to her about her track career and what she plans to do after she graduates.
How many years have you been at Rick?
I've been here for 3 years.
Alright, and what's your major?
Criminal justice.
And what made you lean towards the criminal justice field?
At first, I wasn't criminal justice, I was communications. But after going into a few classes related to criminal justice, I found it really interesting. It actually came a lot easier to me than any of the classes I was taking. So I just went with that.
Alright, and what do you want to do with a degree in criminal justice?
I plan to go to law school after and just hopefully become a lawyer.
A defense lawyer or a prosecutor?
Defense lawyer.
So you participate in both indoor track and outdoor track.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the differences, like training or something about the differences of indoor and outdoor?
Well, indoor is very long compared to outdoor. Outdoor we only have about 5 meets total, where indoor we have like 12 or 14. And the difference is in indoor, like, weather does not play a role in it whatsoever. But there's no elements that we have to focus on. We get in there and it's fine. But we're out with outdoor, like we could have a bad day where it's raining or the wind's really strong. Like at our last meet, we had 40-mile-an-hour winds going against us. So when I was jumping, I'd get in the air and it would just like smack me upside the head and I'd fall back. It was bad.
And so tell us what events do you do?
I do kind of a little bit of everything. I do the 400, 200, 4x4, 4x2, long jump, and 100.
Tell us about some of your accomplishments.
Well, this year I got LAC Athlete of the Week a few times. I received all New England in long jump, 400, 200, and the 4x4. I broke the conference record for long jump again, so that was pretty good. And I placed at Open New England's against D1 and 2 athletes, so it's good.
Okay. All of your accomplishments and awards that you have, what would you say is the one that you're most proud of?
The one that I'm most proud of is last year getting the MVP award for my team. is definitely a big accomplishment.
Excited are you for your big senior year?
I'm very excited. I still have a lot to do, but I want to get an All-American by my senior year. Looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. Big goals for autumn next year. Mike Neal signing off.
Junior gymnastics star Emma Harton recently won team MVP for her performance this season. I sat down with Emma to talk about her favorite moments, favorite events, and her recruit process to Rick. So Emma, you're on the Rhode Island College gymnastics team. That's awesome. How long have you been involved in gymnastics, not just at Rick, but overall in your lifetime?
Since I was 4.
Wow, that's awesome. So have you gone to different gyms, or were you pretty stuck on the gym that you started at, or?
Yeah, for the most part, I just kind of have always been at the same gym my entire life. I tried switching at one point, but I went
Didn't
right
work
back.
out,
So.
yeah. That's awesome. Have you ever coached, or do you work with younger girls, or?
Yeah, I started coaching when I was 15 at my home gym, and then I recently got a job in Rhode Island. I think 2 years ago. So
that's awesome.
actually my boss is Rick Gym alumni, so that's
Oh,
how I kind
that's-
of got the job. So yeah, I
That's
coach gym.
perfect. Doing what you love for working. Have you been on the Rhode Island College gymnastics team all 4 years, or?
Well, I'm only a junior, but yeah, I've been on the team
Yeah, junior.
every year since I've been here, and yeah, I plan on
And you
being
plan
here
on
for
being
one more.
here. Awesome, awesome. So tell me, when you were looking at colleges, did gymnastics have an effect on your choice, or?
Yeah, it did. I don't want to say a huge choice, but it kind of did. I didn't know what I wanted to do academically when I was applying to colleges. So I kind of looked at schools with a lot of majors to choose from, and then it was sort of based on what coach was showing the most interest in me to kind of come and get involved in their program.
So when you were in high school, I don't know how it works, I know with basketball and stuff you get scouted, is that kind of the same thing with gymnastics?
Yeah, you get recruited for the
Okay.
most part. You kind of just communicate with the coaches by email, and you kind of send them videos, keep them updated on your season. Sometimes if they're fortunate enough, they can come to a meet and kind of just see you in action.
That's awesome. So what are some of your most memorable moments in gymnastics, overall and specifically at Rhode Island College so far?
Well, definitely this year when the team ended up hitting a 180 at our championship meet, that was a huge goal that's been kind of set for the past 2 years, and it was just kind of a huge deal for the program because they haven't gotten that high of a team score in I think 10 years maybe.
Wow, that's crazy.
So now it's showing that the program's really growing and stuff, and it's only going to get better from there.
Yeah.
And also making it into the record books was really cool, and doing that with some of my teammates this year, and getting MVP was really that was a nice.
Oh, so you were named MVP this year.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was a nice.
So did you get awarded that at a meet, or was it at more of a practice in front of your teammates, or how does that work?
It was actually at our winter sports banquet, so they just kind of do that
Oh wow,
the end.
that's awesome.
So basically all the teams are there, and each team has an MVP, so that's when they.
And you got chosen? That's
Yeah.
so cool. So that would probably be your most memorable this
Yeah.
year as MVP.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So in gymnastics, I know that there's not different positions necessarily, but you have different events. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
What would you say that your specialty and what your favorite event is?
I compete everything but bars. I kind of
Okay.
equally like everything but bars for the most part, but I think.
What other
vaulting-
types of events are there? So I know there's
There's
bar.
Vaulting, floor, and beam. Those are the 3 that I compete.
Okay.
So probably between beam or vaulting is probably my top event. It honestly kind of depended on the meet
Right,
if I
and
fell
the
on
meet.
something
Yeah.
or not. But
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah, so
Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today. We really appreciate it, and good luck in the rest of your season and next year.
thanks.
Moving away from college sports, spring means it's time for Little League baseball across the country. Unfortunately, less and less kids seem to be participating. The numbers here at home have took a hit, so I hit the streets of Johnson to investigate.
It's the sport many children across the world have grown up playing.
For 75 years, Little League Baseball has introduced millions to the world of team sports, but in today's technological age, the numbers for the sport are declining. Here in Johnson, this league has plenty of history and tradition, but like many leagues, they have seen participation numbers drop.
They've been dwindling for many years. This year was bad, and then right at the last minute, we got a burst of like some 8s and 9s. We're still down, but we're able to keep 8 teams this year. We're going to play 11 on a team instead of 12.
It isn't just Johnston youngsters. The 1990s saw over 10 million participants in Little League, but as of last year, the number has plummeted to just 2.4 million. This includes nearly 7% drop-off from last year. While there is no firm reason for the decline, many people have their own theories about it.
I mean, kids like to play, they like to interact with their friends, but now you can do that at home. It used to be with PlayStation. You could play PlayStation. Now, you don't even need your friend to come over the house. You can be playing trivia with your friend on your phone, and you can have a tablet and be playing Scrabble with another friend.
From Johnson, I'm Eddie Pannone, Rick TV.
Well, that's all the time we have this week on Rick News. Until next time, I'm Kaylee McCann.
And I'm Eddie Pannone. Take care, folks.